Hi everyone, happy spring equinox. This is, I don't know why there's like a little, oh there we go. This is the second time I'm trying to record it. Hi, pool hall girl, how are you, love? So yeah, happy spring equinox. I just wanted to get on here really quickly and kind of talk about the holiday and what it's all about, and read you a little blessing and invocation for the season and the reason for the season. So spring equinox, you know, it is the first day of spring, and it's a time when all of nature is in balance for a minute. And so today, every light and darkness, there's equal amounts of day and night. And then we celebrate, though, the returning of the light, the days becoming longer. And it's just a really beautiful moment to be like, everything is coming back to life. And of course it has ancient roots, pagan roots, and Ostara is kind of the pagan practice, and it comes from this goddess whose name is spelled Eostre, and so you can see the similarities between that and Easter, and she is the goddess of the dawn. Eos is the goddess of the dawn, and then there's another Germanic goddess called Estero, I guess you would say it. And so basically they all celebrate spring, and then Eos is the goddess of the dawn, and that is kind of where we're moving into these themes of resurrection, rebirth, fertility, hope. You know, everything is coming back to life. And we're also moving into the zodiac sign of Aries, which is the first sign of the zodiac. So we just went from Pisces, the final sign, to this first sign of Aries, and self, and the relationship of self with the bigger universe. So it's a big deal. And as far as the season of the wheel goes, we're moving from the north, the direction of north, and the element of earth, which is linked with the season of winter, to the east, which is the element of air, and the season of spring. So that is kind of a little bit of the roots, the history. This goddess, Ostara, who I'm just going to say it like that because I don't think I can say it with the E in front. I'm going to get too confused. But some things that were sacred to her were the rabbit and the egg. So you can see where more modern traditions, where Christianity and just like kind of like commercial traditions of Easter have kind of come about to celebrate these themes that are reflected in nature, which we can all come together and celebrate. And that's kind of why I really love this day, because it truly doesn't matter what religion you are. We're celebrating the same things. Like, nature reflects back to us, you know, our beliefs and traditions. And I do believe that there's just like the overlap, and celebrating new life and new growth is really exciting. Also, there is the story of, you know, the goddess. And so in spring, she's in her maiden phase. And so in Wicca, this is like when the goddess and the god meet, and they're kind of like flirting. And then at Beltane, they full on have sex, and that's a whole other ball game. But right now we're dating. So yay, new life is coming about. Fertility, we're coming to this time of creation in our own lives where we can go forward and create. Aries is a fire sign, and it's all about doing and action. Where Pisces was all dreamy and we're in our visions, now we have the vision and we're just going for it. And, you know, of course it's not always that black and white in real life, not that instantaneous, but it is a moment to recognize. And yeah, what else did I want to say? Oh man, there's just so much to say. What's your favorite part of this holiday? Because there's a bunch. Even though it's not one of the major Sabbats or whatnot, or high holidays, to me, it is a big moment. The other thing that's really cool to note, I guess, that I'll say before I read you this blessing from the Book of Blessings and Rituals, and pull a couple cards, more so oracle cards for the season, to see what the messages are right now for us, is that, you know, a lot of ancient cultures and traditions would align important structures and temples to actually harness some of that energy that nature is projecting. So there is a Mayan temple, I believe it's called, I don't want to get the name wrong, but that they actually aligned it like ancient, you know, cultures, like the Mayan culture would align their temples so it would be in alignment with the spring equinox, and that at sunset, like the whole temple would be lit up with a diamondback snake emerging. Like, it's just like really cool things. And I was talking to one of my friends who actually got to see one of those Mayan temples on a cruise he had just went on, and today is his birthday. I was like, dude, your birthday is on the spring equinox. That's really cool. But he was talking about how he got to see one of these Mayan temples and just like their respect for nature, and I feel like it's a time and a day where we can come back to that too and really connect in with it in a way that maybe we don't in our everyday life, because we can't. So it's a moment to stop and be like, hey, things are coming back to life in a really powerful way, in a really natural way. And it's a chance to start over again, because it is the astrological start to the new year, with Aries being the first sign. So rebirth, you know, if you want to take just one word, it's rebirth. We're rebirthing ourselves, and there's this forward movement, and what we've learned in the winter, we now get to act on in the spring and begin to plant the seeds. So that's my little spiel about that. There is so much, but there's also a lot of mystery too, because with the goddess Ostara, and there isn't much known about her, but that was more of a British thing. Again, that name, Eostre, is a Germanic, I can't say that word, goddess. And then there's Eos, goddess of the dawn, and she's pictured in, I believe it's Greek or Roman mythology. I'm gonna get it all confused because I read too much. So, but instead of like trying to research everything and have your head explode like me, the most important things to know are kind of like the correspondences and what's happening. So we're entering spring in the east, element of air. You know, maybe where you are, it's getting warmer, and there's signs of new life are emerging in the northern hemisphere. So it's a really beautiful time. And I just wanted to read you a little blessing from this book, my favorite book to celebrate these holidays. It's the Book of Blessings and Rituals by Athena Perrakis, Ph.D. And so I wanted to read you the one for spring equinox and Ostara. I am going to open this circle just because it always feels good for me, but I'm going to do it in a really quick way. I don't know why I keep trying to rush this video. There's nowhere I need to be, but I need it for my own energy. So I just had like the best weekend, I have to say. I celebrated two of my really close friends' birthdays. One of them was, her birthday was on the full moon in Virgo, and went out with her and had a blast, like an absolute blast with her and my friends from college. And then today, another one of my friends from college had his birthday, and I got to talk to him on the phone. And so it's been really nice because I do feel like I've been celebrating. And then though tonight, I feel like I had that moment of come down, like where after you've had like a really good time and you're just like, but it's not the time to come down. So I'm gonna ground my own energy and read this to you because I want to keep partying. Like, and I was saying that to my friend today, like, you know, we take everything so seriously in life, and I don't know if it really serves us to do so. I think that one of the things I want to grow this year, one of the seeds I'm planting, is to have more fun more often, like to make everything fun. Because that's when you're most in alignment with Source. And even though Aries is a sign that's associated with the self, it's also like the self's connection to that Source. So anyway, I have lots of thoughts and feelings about everything right now, but I'm going to open a circle so I can read you this blessing, and then we're going to just pull a couple cards. I think I'm going to do one from the Illustrated Herbiary, because the pictures in here are so beautiful, and just give us an herb to work with for something different. And then I really wanted to explore our chakras tonight and see what's going on there, where we can place our focus energetically. Your chakras are there's seven main ones, energy centers, and they each help you with a different thing. So you have your crown, which is your connection to Source, your third eye, which is your inner knowing, your intuition, your throat chakra, where you communicate, your heart, where you love, your solar plexus, where you manifest from, your sacral chakra, where you create and express your sexuality and sensuality from, and then your root chakra, which grounds you to the planet and keeps you safe. So I wanted to see like what energy center we need to act from tonight, and then an herb that we can work with, and then read you this blessing. Yeah, and that's what I felt like doing tonight. So here we go. Just going to call the guides and guardians in really quickly. I've got to stop saying really quickly. Okay, here we go. Guides and guardians of the East, element of air, thank you for being here tonight as we welcome you in with the season of spring. Thank you for showing us new beginnings, new cycles, new chapters that are going to serve our highest good. And thank you for leading us to those new chapters and new cycles in a way that incorporates all of our wisdom that we have learned in winter. And thank you for helping us implement that wisdom in ways that will serve our highest good and the highest good of all. We welcome you into the circle with so much gratitude. Guides and guardians of the South, element of fire, we welcome you in tonight with the start of Aries season, which is a fire sign. Thank you for lighting our inner flames so that we can create from a place of true passion and desire. I welcome you into the circle with so much gratitude. Guides and guardians of the West, element of water, you are still so needed as we enter spring for cleansing and purification and emotional healing that we are still integrating as we move forward. Let us lead from the heart. Help us to, guide us to lead from the heart with everything we do this season. I welcome you into the circle with so much gratitude. Guides and guardians of the North, element of earth, thank you for being here tonight. We celebrate you tonight as you come back to life and remind us of the power that a rebirth can have in our own lives as we look to you in nature to see your strength and the way you can transform and grow into something big and beautiful. I welcome you into the circle with so much gratitude. And finally, I welcome in the guides and guardians of the spirit element, the union of all the elements, the creative force, the intelligent force in our universe that unites everything and reminds us that we are magic and magic is real. I welcome you into the circle with so much gratitude. I welcome all guides and guardians of love and light and nothing else. And with that, the circle is open. Amen. Blessed be, harm none. It is done, it is done, it is done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amen. Aho, and so it is. I just always have to do that to feel better. I really do feel like so passionate about spirituality and calling in the guides and guardians, it just feels like I come from a different place. Like I can tell my voice gets just a little calmer and my energy just gets a little bit more present, which is the other intention that I really want to set and maybe offer to you, is like wisdom and advice to be in the moment. The magic of the moment is really powerful, especially those moments where you are feeling joy. That's the thing to build off of, to hold on to. And so I encourage you to celebrate in whatever way is gonna, bring you joy. Do that. Spend time with those people. Because that is the other thing about this season, right? It's us finding the work-life balance. And I was reading my teacher's blog before this, and that was one of the final points she touched on, was just like, nothing good that's created, like, comes out of duress. And, like, yes, we should be working. We should want to create. That's, like, what we're here to do, really. But have fun with it. So, yeah, that's my advice. Just because I had so much fun this weekend, and, like, if I could do that, even more, I feel like the more creative juices I'll have to create and channel into my work. So that's the goal. So let's welcome in the season of spring with this invocation. So this again is from the Book of Blessings and Rituals by Athena Perrakis. So this is for spring equinox, also known as Ostara. A calling to connect with all forms of new life. Ostara represents the re-emergence of the goddess from the underworld, manifesting the physical rebirth of springtime. This is a time for celebrating. Recite the following blessing out loud to honor this new cycle of life. As the wheel of the year turns east, the air warms and sweetens, and the sun dances in the sky. The ice of winter has become a flowing stream, nourishing emergent life. I call to you, Ostara, goddess of the dawn, to help my intentions grow and blossom. Like your wild flowers and your fruits. Bless me as I seek to cultivate my dreams with inspired vitality. Yes, inspired vitality. I celebrate fertility of all kinds and honor my existence as a sexual being, capable of giving and sustaining life. With each new sunrise, Gaia finds her bounce. Masculine and feminine, united, entwined, as I watch now as light overtakes the darkness. All of life reaches now for the sky, for liberation, for expansion and healing. I sing the song of spring and kindle hope in my heart. I ask for blessings of fertility and beauty upon all of Gaia's children. Amen aho, and so it is. I just thought that was so beautiful. I mean, this book is just, there's just like this, simple, pure elegance to it. So I really, really love it. Definitely get it. So yeah, Book of Blessings and Rituals. And so maybe I'll post a picture of that. I don't know. But I definitely wanted to read it to you because it definitely hits when you read something out loud. It just does. It's just like more of a confirmation to the universe that you are invoking this thing. So now I think I'm going to pull an herb card first in the Illustrated Herbiary. This book is another book I highly recommend. She has a couple books. There's one on crystals, and I believe there's one on animals, and I wanted them all, and I probably will get them all, but there's just something about the Illustrated Herbiary that really connects me with the herbs. That's not my strong point. My strong point is crystals and tarot, but I definitely feel like it's important to work with all of them because there's so much medicine to be had in all of the things, and to just kind of like get a basis for all of them and pick and choose what works best for you. So here we go. Dear God and Goddess, thank you for giving us an herb and a message to work with tonight that will serve our highest good as we enter into the spring equinox and the season of spring and Ostara what in us needs to be reborn this season. Thank you for giving us messages of the highest love, light, and truth that will serve our highest good and the highest good of all. Amen. Blessed be, harm none. It is done, it is done, it is done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm at home, and so it is. Okay, these cards are so little, they're cute. I'm just going to give them 3 shuffles. Because I really like using that number for shuffling right now, especially for collective readings, and because we're in the 3rd month of the year. It just feels good. Alright, one more, and then we'll see what wants to come out. But yeah, I highly recommend this deck because this one comes with a book, and the book, like, you can just see the artwork up close, and it's so beautiful. Oh, jeez. I want to get it not too close to the candle I have lit here. I have a white candle lit for Ostara. It's so beautiful. Okay, you can't really see because of the light, but it's got some crystals in it, some labradorite for new beginnings. Looks like some rose petals as well. Oh, one tried to pop out. What is it with me not being able to pull one card? Alright, well, maybe we won't read all of these, but I definitely want... Oh, dang, alright. There's a lot of messages per usual. Okay. So funny because I'm feeling certain ones more than others, but I feel like that's kind of good because, you know, we're probably all at different places regardless of the season, so see which one speaks to you the most. So we have Mullen, and the message for that is integration. I think I know what I'm going to do, which one I'm going to read. Okay. So yeah, definitely. We're integrating the wisdom of winter right now, and then we're taking that wisdom and putting it into our intentions and our seeds of intention and like starting to implement that. So that's definitely a great card. Does it thrill me that there's a spider on it? No, but spiders do have their magic, you know? And I respect them as an element of nature. Am I scared of them? A little, but I'm working on it. And then we have ladies mantled with fortitude. So, courage. Yeah, it always takes courage to start something new, to grow, to be open to growing. So that definitely checks out as well. We have Rosemary for Remembrance. How are you not going to have Rosemary? Rosemary is one of my favorites for... just that, actually. I worked with it a lot at the Yule this year, because it really does help you with your memory as well. So this is, again, just remembering everything we've learned as we do move forward into the new season. And then this last one's kind of hot and has been coming up for me in Journey a lot. Forbidden Fruit Apple. I just did a journey recently, and my spirit guides were like, kept telling me to eat Granny Smith apples, and you know, that color green, which is really good for physical healing, that shade of green. But yeah, this just feels like, take a bite of that apple. What is the wisdom that you need to hear this season? So I feel like wisdom is actually the word that I'm feeling from all of these cards. But I want to just shuffle the 4 of them and see which one out of the 4 we need to hear as far as the reading goes. I don't even know. Let me just do it like this. Nah, we'll see if one flies. Yeah, I'm going to do it like this. What is the wisdom we need to hear right now? I knew it. Okay, we're reading the Forbidden Fruit. You know, it also makes me think of Persephone, which is a goddess that's also associated with spring, and the maiden part of the triple goddess. So that youthful stage of life of the year where we're flirting, we're having fun with our intentions. So let me read this one to you. Forbidden Fruit. So I feel like I don't know. I would be that person. I would be Eve. I would take a bite from that apple, because to me wisdom is so intoxicating. And wisdom is knowledge, and wisdom is power. And with that you can do, then it depends on your intention, but I would use it for good. You know what I mean? And the snake is such a popular symbol for rebirth as well, and wisdom. So it gets a bad rap, but is it really forbidden? I more so feel like it should only be forbidden to people who would use it for bad. Can you handle the wisdom? It can actually, and that's a silly question, because you always can. The universe does not give you what you can't handle, even when it seems really effing hard. Because I've been through some hard things myself. But there's wisdom in all of it. The good, the bad, the ugly, the divine. It's making me think of an Adele song. It's called Can I Get It? It's a good one. And then she also has apples in her other video. I think it's called Oh My God. Yeah, that's a good one too. All right, here we go. Forbidden fruit. The apple. Malus pluma. Okay, Janine, maybe. Okay, here we go. So here's the card. I'm going to hold that as I read it. That's the second time I've hit myself in the face with the book tonight. I've got this. We've got this, guys. All right. Apple has been given grief since in the beginning, when we learned that feeding people and teaching them to know themselves can be a dangerous thing. She became associated with snakes, shame, and fig leaves, and it's been all dance lessons and curtsies and domestication from there. Dang. Apple is the witch of the wild wood. Well, maybe that's why I like it. Forced to clean up and come in for tea. But a skirt and pumps can't hide her knowledge of the circling stars and cycling seasons. I love this. The deep loom of the earth and the warm weep of a summer rain. We may think that we've tamed Wild Apple and brought her to heel, but even quasi-domesticated, she still gifts us with the sweetness of understanding ourselves. Yes! Apple asks, what have you forbidden yourself? What have you forbidden yourself? Interesting. Okay, and then they give you a ritual too, so I am going to read this. I love this. I love this book. Okay, anywho. Oh, this is perfect for Aries season. Wait for it. Ready? Okay. I'm blowing out this candle because it's making me nervous. Let's see. Here, take some of that smoke for the new beginnings. This is a lesson in having so much on your altar that you're just like, it's too much. But is it? Okay. Step into sensation. So this is a ritual you can do with Apple. I'm loving this because I really did get that message in Journey recently. So I feel like this is confirmation for me. I'm hoping it's resonating with you, especially because wisdom was the word that I heard out of those 4 cards. So first question, what is self? What season did we just enter? Aries, which definitely asks that question. We tend to define it narrowly as our thoughts, our relationships, or our jobs. But Apple knows that getting to know ourselves is a multi-dimensional process. The self begins in our physical body. Truth. Well, truth, kind of. And everything it can feel, taste, see, hear, and smell. For this ritual, Apple asks us to focus on sensation. Loving this. Start with an apple or any fruit or vegetable you can eat raw. Use your senses to investigate its taste, scent, feel, the sound made when the skin tears open. But here's the trick. Instead of noting your observations about the apple, note your observations about yourself, observing the interactions with the apple. This is deep. When you hold the apple, how and where do you feel it? Does your body focus on the sensation of the skin on your fingertips or on the weight of the apple in your hand? When you bite into the apple, where specifically on your tongue do you taste its flesh? Does the taste disappear when you swallow? Does your body feel the apple passing down your throat into your stomach? wow, I feel like this is like really talking a lot about presence, like, and where your focus is. It's a really, really good meditation for coming into focus and like seeing where your focus is, so that then you can recalibrate it if necessary. Although with this exercise, I don't think there would be any need to do that. So it's just literally kind of bearing witness to yourself and your own reactions, which is really beautiful. When you observe your physical being interacts with, when you observe how your physical being interacts with the world, even in something as routine as eating an apple, you can better understand and accept your whole self. I feel like I have to read that again. When you observe how your physical being interacts with the world, even in something as routine as eating an apple, you can begin to understand and accept your whole self. Yeah, and that's a theme that's definitely going on right now too. In nature, it's like recognizing light and shadow and that wholeness. You know, that's what we were talking about in the Virgo full moon. The wholeness of you and accepting that. The divine feminine, the divine masculine in you, and accepting that is really powerful and helps you understand yourself better. And then here's the reflection part. Hidden desires. We try to tame things that scare us. Dang, this is like really resonating. Self-knowledge is no different. We hide our deep wisdom, our intuition, our needs, and our desires under a layer of enculturation, refusing to acknowledge what we consider inappropriate or grandiose. These hidden knowings and longings are snakes in the garden, the surus of knowledge trying to wake us up. Whew. Do you stifle your body when it wants to move in certain ways? Do you choke back your voice when it wants to chant or sing? Do you eat what you're supposed to instead of what your body craves? Do you listen to the quiet voice of your intuition? Do you have thoughts that feel like snakes in the garden, pointing you towards embarrassing or dark truths? If you're having trouble finding what's hidden, start by recalling the last time you felt ashamed, insecure, or out of integrity with yourself. This is also like talking a lot about shadow work. So like when we have, it's like those uncomfortable parts of ourselves, when they rise to the surface, what do? Do we shove them back down, or do we look at them? And that's where courage comes in. You know, the other card, Fortitude, I think is how they, Lady's Mantle. That's where courage comes in. Because when you actually do look at those things, then you have the power to heal, or not even heal them, but accepting them, and by accepting them, healing them. So this is like definitely piggybacking off of the Virgo full moon too, I feel it, and shadow work, and the need to do shadow work constantly, because through that you become self-aware, and that is power too, being aware. If you are not aware of yourself, and you have a bunch of shadow, as we can see reflected in certain world events playing out, you will continue to project that shadow, you know what I mean? So, but like through self-awareness, you can understand yourself more. I probably shouldn't have gone down that road, but let's see. Knowledge is a knife that cuts both ways. Yes, that's what I was talking about this earlier too. It can be self-conscious and used to beat yourself into submission, or it can be self-aware, used to rejoice in the incredible creation you are. How can you both know and love yourself? Yeah. I mean, that's a really good question. And I think it's just, don't be afraid to look. Don't be afraid to bite. Don't be afraid of the wisdom that is you. And so that's the knowing part. And then loving yourself is like, it's just that. It's the acceptance of what you find, you know? I don't know if I've said it before. I'm sure I have. But, you know, I'm an alchemist, a spiritual alchemist, which means I can transmute one energy into another. And, you know, there's all these steps to alchemize a situation. But one way to skip all those steps is through radical acceptance of something, or speed up that process at the very least, to find the gold in any situation, is a gift. And it takes time to cultivate, but it's definitely asking us to look at that, because we definitely have the wisdom, and so therefore we have the power to do just this. Take a bite of the forbidden fruit. I seriously cannot wait to go out and get Granny Smith apples. Like, be prepared for a post that's just of like apples. And I actually did get an apple because like I wanted it to be a part of my aesthetic for like the apartment or little witch cottage I hope to get someday. And my mom got me like this glass green apple for Christmas that's gorgeous, and I was thinking about that after Journey the other night, and I'm like, yeah, that all checks out. So, and it's green, and because I wanted my apartment to kind of be like a lot of green accents in it, a pretty green, not like a Kelly green, but like, I don't know. And so yeah, I love that we got that card. How is the chakra thing gonna top it? Now I'm nervous. I'm gonna leave out all 4 too, maybe, but when I do a little post, but yeah, I'll figure out how I do that later. So before I go and I close the circle, I did want to just pull one more card from the Chakra Healing Deck by Sage Goddess, because this deck really, really, really helps me. I pull a card right before I go to sleep, because that's when I'm the most active. I'm very much like in touch with like the lunar energies and the night, and that's just when my mind races though sometimes. And so this helps me fall asleep, this deck, because these are just very comforting in a sense, but they ask questions too, but they're comforting questions to go to sleep with, and they're reassuring that you've got this, which I do feel like we need. Always, I need. So I'm going to do this one. I'm going to say a prayer, and then I'm going to show you another way to pull a card, which is, I love to do, which is to like spread them all out, and then put your, I put my non-dominant hand, I'm left-handed actually, so I put my right hand down, and I'll just see where the cards, where I feel a pull. Sometimes it doesn't even, my hand doesn't even heat up, it's just more like a pull. And you can definitely do this too, with any deck. Especially oracle cards, this works well for, I find. Alright. Dear God and Goddess, what chakra do we need to work with right now? What medicine do we need to hear? When it comes to our energy, which is where a lot of things start before they manifest, how can we use our energy in a way that will increase our self-awareness and help us to know and love ourselves better? Amen. Blessed be harm none. It is done, it is done, it is done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm at home, and so it is. Hey, everyone. Hey, Mystical Tree Bard. Yes. All right. Okay. Should I shuffle these? All right. I'm going to shuffle them 3 times first, though. Okay. I didn't like that because I had to bend them. Bad call, bad call. Okay, well, that's alright. They can never be in reverse, these cards. It's another thing I like about oracle cards. Just because they just can't. So, 2 and 3. I feel like the message for me today is like, even when things aren't perfect, it's okay to just keep going. To learn as you go. 8:36. Sorry, I forgot to turn my phone on vibrate. My teacher is going to go live in a half hour too with her own ritual, and I like doing it before just because I kind of love to see what she says then afterwards and see if we're in sync, like what new messages she has to share. So that's my style of celebrating these holidays. In the day, I kind of just like to see what happens. So that was, again, not the most graceful, but we've got all the cards out. And you can just, again, it's like a matter of just spreading them. I mean, I'm sure y'all know how to do this. There we go, that feels a little bit better. And then you take your non-dominant hand and you kind of just, for me, it always helps to close my eyes. And just see where your hand, oof, I felt it right there. Yeah, I'm not even going to go any further because I know it's this. You know, this one really ties in. Not surprised. Freedom of expression. Okay, so throat chakra, the crystal is lazulite, and the herb is a great one because it's a common one, which I love, chamomile. So, chamomile tea, you know, definitely a good one to have before bed for calming you. Freedom of expression. Banishment of fear. Banish fear of judgment now. Let it constrict you no longer. Know that the expression of your highest truth is projected and supported by spirit. Speak your authentic wisdom. There's that word again. With conviction and courage. Rest assured that doing so will bring you to where you are meant to be. Share your truths from a place of loving compassion, so your words land with the intention you use to compose them. Ooh, I love that. Love, love, love that. And then the little longer meditation, and it's number 32, which I like as well for us. Adds up to a 5, which is change. I like it. All right, so here we go. Here's the longer one. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. I forgot to put my phone on vibrate again. Did I just say goodness gracious? I'm such a grandmom sometimes. Okay. Here we go. Okay. There we go. All right. So, freedom of expression. Keywords: communication, wisdom, openness. Wisdom, again. All right. So that is the word. The throat chakra is your center of communication and truth. It is from this energetic center that you connect with your highest wisdom and express it with clarity, conviction, compassion, courage, and ease. Activate your throat chakra and attune to your highest truth. Release fear of judgment or doubt. Anything that keeps you from expressing your truth freely, authentically, and fearlessly. Attune to the wisdom that your freedom of expression is supported by the universe. Engaging in honest, loving communication will lead you to where you're ultimately meant to be. Your inner truth and wisdom are beautiful offerings meant to be shared with the world. Right now, your words hold the power to change the world. I believe that. And bring light to those who inhabit it. Know this to be true, and encourage others to realize the same about themselves. When you live deeply into your truth, you will, by example, inspire others to follow you. Try to see all living beings as sovereign and worthy of respect, just as they are. There's that acceptance again. By seeing them this way, you will naturally create space for open expression and exchange of ideas between you. Ask yourself, do you express yourself from a place of freedom, love, and compassion? Do you feel connected to the divine truth that you are spirit and that your spirit longs to share? Do you feel connected to the divine truth that your spirit longs to share with the world? In what ways can your truth be a beacon of light and hope for others? What lingering fears or doubts about the past are holding you back today? Interesting, because the spring equinox is also about like letting go of old patterns and therefore letting new patterns emerge. So it really is a time where we can once we've released those old fears and doubts, nothing can hold us back, and you know what I mean. So expressing your truth is incredibly powerful, but first you have to know it. So it's like a 2-step process. One is the wisdom that you get from observing yourself and accepting yourself, and it's like, knowing yourself, loving yourself, and then expressing your authentic self. So it's really beautiful. I love that so much, guys. So the throat, the throat chakra and the apple. I love that so much. The red and the blue and, well, for me, the green, because I was called to eat the Granny Smith apples. But yeah, I like these messages a lot. I really, really do. And I just kind of wanted to explore the energies on tap for tonight in a new way. And usually I pull one from the Blessings deck, but I just didn't feel called to it tonight because I feel like the Book of Blessings and Rituals, I didn't want to do too many blessings and then kind of like not explore what the energy is. Because, you know, there's the themes, which is rabbit, for fertility, and egg for rebirth, you know, and to honor the cycles of life. But then there's like what's going on in our collective in this moment. So I kind of like to look at the overall themes for the moment, which are for sure playing out, and then kind of see like what else is going on in our collective at the moment, you know, in this cycle, in this year, on this day, you know. And so yeah, with that, I'm gonna close the circle. I'm gonna try to do a post. It might be a little later tonight. Ostara, it's interesting. Kind of always falls on a bit of a different day. And then like one more fact before I close the circle, is that, okay, let me see if I can get this right. I researched it. So basically, the Christian celebration of Easter was decided by a pagan solar calendar, excuse me. So, just like these dates are all based off of pagan holidays. Like Easter is based off a pagan holiday, you know, that honors the same concepts of like rebirth and renewal, which to me is just fascinating. And that's kind of one of the ways they did try to convert people to Christianity, is to align it with pagan holidays so that it wouldn't be as much of an adjustment. But yeah. So Easter was always and is always the Sunday after the first full moon following the spring equinox. So not this past moon that we had, but whatever the next full moon is, then Easter will be that following Sunday. And I just never knew that. So to me, that's just another fun tidbit I learned about Easter and the history and the tie-in between Ostara and Easter and how that all came to be part of something that we still practice. The origins of traditions and holidays are just really something that fascinates me. And because I feel like you can never know everything, but it's cool to know some things about it and what you can, because again, knowledge is power, and it just does help you integrate and realize that we have a lot in common, actually, and that's the part that really makes me happy, is to think of the things that we have in common that are good, that celebrate things like rebirth and renewal and that chance to grow new things in our life, grow new patterns that will serve our highest good. So I hope that this Ostara is finding you well, and that you have a really great spring. Of course, I'll be with you throughout the rest of the wheel of the year. And if you do need a personal tarot card reading, definitely please do DM me. I'm pretty available this week. I'm pretty open. So my readings are an hour long, and they're $40, and they come along with like a big long, you see how much I talk, email that's like a detailed summary after the reading. I video call you live here on Instagram. We do the reading, and then yeah, and then I send you an email afterwards with the pictures from your spread and a detailed summary. So let me know if you need one. I'd be happy to do it for you. And just direct message me on here. And with that, I'm going to release the guides and guardians from the circle and let you go for the evening. So here we go. Guides and guardians of the spirit element, thank you for being here tonight, to really giving us the wisdom of the moment and the wisdom of the season. And thank you for reminding us that we are all connected on this planet, and that by being ourselves, we can connect to the whole, especially when we are the highest expression of our authentic selves. I release you from the circle with so much gratitude. Guides and guardians of the North, element of Earth, thank you. And we celebrate you tonight, waking up and giving birth to all of nature as the spring begins. Thank you for keeping us safe in the spring, in this new season, and thank you for letting us allow ourselves to grow new structures and foundations that will serve our highest good. I release you from the circle with so much gratitude. Guides and guardians of the West, element of water, thank you for being here tonight to remind us of the cleansing and purifying power of this season, that we can let go of the old and welcome the new. Thank you for allowing new patterns of emotional healness and health to come into our life in this season, and to let us recognize the abundance of all that is good in our life, so that more of that abundance can flow in. I release you with so much gratitude from the circle. Guides and guardians of the South, element of fire, thank you so much for being here tonight, and for helping us kick off Aries season, which is a fire sign. Thank you for helping us with our vitality this spring. Thank you for helping us to create from a place of true passion and desire, to create things that will bring us joy and bring the world joy, and serve as a good creative force in the world. We release you from the circle with so much gratitude. And finally, I release the guides and guardians of the East, element of air, the element that we are turning to tonight in the wheel of the year, the element that is spring. Thank you for helping us to welcome new chapters and new cycles and new beginnings in our lives. And thank you for continuing to help us to embrace the new in ways that will serve our highest good and the highest good of all. I release you from the circle with so much gratitude. I release all guides and guardians of love and light. And with that, the circle is closed. Amen. Blessed be harm none. It is done, it is done, it is done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amen. And so it is. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. If you liked this video, it would mean a lot if you just went back and hit the little heart button. And I'll talk to you very, very soon. Take care, everyone. Happy Ostara. Happy spring equinox. Love ya.